brief on what to expect as we get this session and the show on the road.
Okay.
Sorry. Just give us, the viewers, like, who is Ndumiso Dlamini, and just a quick brief.
Just a quick brief one.
Yes.
Okay, well, Ndumiso is a musician first. Yeah. As a musician, I started off playing piano back. Yeah. So I've been in love with music for a while now. So anything musical, anything in the music space, I mean, exactly. Yeah. So basically, that's it, man.
That's actually interesting. I guess it actually helps, since of course, we should actually get deeper into is now.
Yeah.
You're the guy who's actually unearthing, I guess, talent to actually being on the other end.
Definitely.
I feel like that has always been the case. Like even in any environment, from the ground up, you have a 360 view and an appreciation
most definitely
of the entire. I guess industry, whichever you're in. In your case, the music route, was it something you always knew as a kid? Like, some people are like, I used to be that person beating on pans,
Look, with me, I think that whole thing was there in the beginning.
Right.
I'd say from a young age. I think I remember when around 10, 11, when you go to church, I used to sit next to the keyboard guy. That's how it all began. And I still remember the guys that were there, because when I grew up, I used to stay at New Haven, place down in the south.
Right.
So, and there was Franz. I think
V.
Franz from Kusizono. And there was Timothy. He's also, because my mom was a teacher. My mom was. So those guys used to come to the church and they were the ones playing. So every Sunday morning, you run down after Sunday school, you wait for them when they come with the keyboard. So you carry it for them, plug it up. They tell you, don't touch. So I used to sit next to them and then just watch them, then after the service, then you try play what they were playing. So that's how it all began, actually. I was 10, 11, about.
So early on,
very early. So
already been graced by ladies. Were they as back then, or also starting?
No, they were starting out. They were starting out at the time. Yeah, before they started their choirs. Actually, they were still in high school then, so they were starting out. Yeah, so and then from there, I think a year later, I think when I was at 5, then holidays after finishing my exams, I actually came to Manzini. I went to PLMCB. There was a group called Manzini Crusade back in the day. He was playing for them. He was and he happens to be my cousin as well. Right. So close school, I went to his house. I stayed there for the whole duration of the holidays, and he taught me. He was teaching me. So I learned from him, and then from that on, then I started playing at the church.
All right.
At around 12.
So based on just that reenactment, I have a feeling it was a calling in your case, because when you
no, true, we can say that. We can say that easily. We can easily say that, because from them and then I started playing in the church. Then when my dad started the church as well, and then I was also there involved, checking out and then playing, and then started making friends. I think I met maybe you don't even know. Tom. Tom used to play keyboards, eh?
Wow! You heard it here first.
He's gonna kill me. But he used to play keys. So I remember when because we met up, we were in junior camps, those camps. Yeah, that's where we met up with him. And he was playing as well. Then I was also starting out, I think around 92, if I remember correctly. So then when we grew up, I think after on holidays, I think basically Form 3. School holiday. Then I went to his house. We stayed there. Blah, blah, blah. We were practicing together, jamming, and then he also started playing for a group. And at some point, we actually played together in a church. It was very good. It was brilliant. So I used to learn a lot from him. So we started playing together up until I don't know.
So you guys literally, and that's actually something rare. It's quite amazing because even in this case, it's like the music route per se, sound and like
exactly. It's always been It's always been around the music because he started the studio even back then exactly and he started producing as well. So it's always been in the music space, really. So that's where it all began.
Cool. And with your influences, I guess, and having the ability as well as being an artist at some point.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's helped you relate more with artists that you manage in the likes and talent?
Man.
Does it also help, I guess, give an appreciation because you get instances within this respective industry whereby there's a disconnect between, I guess, the A&R guys, the heads, and the artists?
Yeah, no, you know what? For me, it really worked for me to, to work it out, being the musician, playing for the artist, and because it gives you perspective, to sort of see how this side works, and also the other side works. So for me, I'd say I met Themba Mkhize around 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the guy that really broke it down for me as well. When I moved to Joburg, he gave me the perspective of a musician and a producer, and then sort of getting and also he mentioned to me, look, you need to exhaust the space so that by the time you get to the other side, every other corner of the side.
There's nothing that can blindside you.
No, exactly. So you understand the musician, you understand an artist, you understand their whole being, and then it will be easy to manage that once you understand
this request, or this is what I probably need, this is what the artist needs. And I feel like creatives need to be in a comfortable environment to be in.
Yes, exactly. No, definitely. I agree
most definitely. And then people you've worked with along the journey already, you've been name dropping before. And I guess integral people you'd say actually help mold you, and how was the impact, or just to, I guess, inspire anyone who's within this journey, like the people you've come across. What are the key takeaways? Like, who has been an integral part?
There's a couple. I'd say the first one was Themba Mkhize. Because he was a jazz pianist that I looked up to, when I was growing up. And when I decided to go into the music thing full time, I think it was 2002 towards the end, and then 2003 I went to Joburg. I moved to Johannesburg. I did a sound engineering course for a year, and that's when I met him actually. Then I worked in his studio, and because I loved him so much, his piano playing, his production things, he really instilled the production in me. And he actually, from there, he actually also got me a piano tutor. He said, no, you need to go in and study piano maybe for a year, just so that you get perspective. So he really gave me the foundation. And then from him, I think when I was at the college, there was the record labels then. They used to go to the college to scout for musicians. So I remember, when we were there at that time, and then there was this guy called Suzmu. What's his name? I think it's Suzmu still, the man. Yeah, he was head of Bula at the time. So then when he got there, he wanted a band for Sfiso and Zoto. So we got the auditions with my friends. So we won the audition. So we started playing with Sfiso. That happened around 2005, 6, 7. Yeah. So so I was in those gospel spaces for a while, and that is the second person. I learned a lot from him as well. The way he was really in charge of his music, and he was involved with his music, and with the band and him and the production, he was hands-on. And then from him, I think I went to Tear Gas. That's when, true. A friend of mine, he's a drummer. So he used to love hip hop, and I wasn't into it that much because I'm from the gospel space and the jazz. So that's why that was my cool thing. And then he was on to the hip hop. But let's go and check this out. So he went to them and he proposed, look, we can do a band for you. And they were like, no, it's hip hop. So then one day we were like, let's try it out. We went for a rehearsal, and then they were like, we like it. We've got control. We can tell you to shut up. We can, you know what I'm saying? They're rappers. So man, they loved it, and boom, then we started playing for them. And for me, it was a journey because I'd never played hip hop before. It wasn't stuff I was listening to every day. But then I got into, so I really learned a lot. For me, it was a training session. Honestly, learning from their different characters and who likes what, and so that's why I actually learned to respect genres.
Of course, yeah.
From a jazz perspective, gospel perspective, now I enter hip hop. And from when we're doing the Tear Gas DVD, I remember. A friend of mine, he was very active, the drummer. He says, "No man, there's this new group in town. It's called Liquid Deep. You know, let's go and propose that we play for them." Yeah, he says. He's like, "Yeah, no, we're like, no, don't. That's a great idea. Let's call him." So we called Jonathan, who's Zion, and we said, "No, look, come and watch." We're recording a DVD then. He's like, "No, just come watch and see the vibe and see if you like it, you know, blah blah." So he actually came through. We pulled through. We played. After we finished, he's like, "No, we're on, man. Let's go. Let's have a restart." Yeah, so
I'm already.
So that's what I think that was 2009, and then 2009, 2010. Then when boom, we went to rehearse with them. We did one gig at the Durban July, and they were like, "No, we love the band vibe." And then from there, man, we just hit the ball running, and they became more busy. You know, I think then again, it's house music.
Oh, yes.
I've never played house music. So exactly. So now I got into that space, and I learned a lot as well, because all from jazz, you play a lot of things. You get to hip hop, you play just enough. And with house now, you need to make people dance.
Of course.
So the concept is different. You can't be all over the place. You need to have you never have that thing when someone is like, you know, they need to feel it.
Already, I'm thinking.
It was so full. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So by that time, man, I was already in my element. Honestly, I was now feeling the vibe because I was listening to it more hip hop, house, you know, still with the gospel, and I still used to play for my church and Rhema. So it was more full of rock. So I had really traveled across all the spectrum in terms of the genres. Yeah. So that was it, man. And then obviously Busi, I've always worked with her because we're in the same class at some point in college. I met her in college when she first was studying bass. And then from there, I think we played with her when we were still students. And then after that, she started recording. And then every now and then when she had performances, she would call us up, you know, go play with her. And then, but after, I think after Liquid Deep, oh, I went to Donald. Now I remember. Now I remember after Liquid Deep. Yeah, after Liquid Deep, actually. That's when we met Donald in some of the spaces, and then I was also like, no, you know what, I need a keyboardist, blah blah blah. So I used to travel with him a lot, actually as well. So I used to do keyboards for him, and I think we did his Black and White album, that recording. So by then, when I had already understood the whole
the entire
exactly. Yeah. So from him, then I went to Busi. So I was more now full time with Busi from 13, 14. Yeah. Then about 15 years. So I was still doing keyboards for her, directing her music as well. Yeah. I mean, we still work together now. You know, so man, I really went around with the genres. Yes, I really.
I guess even in your reenactment, there's that whole working with a single artist,
working on the group. Yes, correct.
I guess it gives. I guess
definitely. Yeah, there's different dynamics of all of that. Yeah, so I think for me, all of them contributed immensely. And words of Temamkis, they said to me, "I understand now you want to be a producer," and I was still fresh, you know, from playing. And he said to me, "I want you to go out there and play the music, you know," and he would say, "Go and play in the club, go and play," you know, he might go and play everywhere, see how people react to music, see how people respond to it, then you'll be able to make music for those people.
Exactly.
But now if you just come here fresh from school and blah, 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 I want to be a producer, it can be done. But he was just saying, for you to have a long-term understanding and effect, then you need to go out there and play the music so you can see what people respond to, how they respond to it when you're playing for them. Then you can come back into studio now and start making music.
And I actually like that, which is pretty rare with most, I guess, producers or people that actually make music or creators per se.
Yeah.
In your case, you actually have the ability to look at it from the person receiving the piece of art. And because I guess, how can I put it? I've always believed or think that there's a fine line between I'm an artist, they don't understand it, or they need to understand the art, I guess. Because you need to create it for your consumer. In your reenactment of the, sorry, I have one.
Okay, we have Smelane Meluleki, Utit Ndumiso, and laughing. And then we have Tido D. Also, besides music, what else sets your soul on fire?
Besides music, God. Yeah.
That's it. Right. Yes, and that appreciation and creating, I guess, art for the consumer. As you've reenacted as well, one understands or appreciate that for you it wasn't just following the passion as well. There was also the formal education theta, getting young artists these days. You grow up in an environment whereby there's this assumption. You wake up and then if you believe it and you're passionate about it, just follow through, go fully into it. What would you advise, I guess, someone who's straight off the bat, just finished high school? Which route do you think is more conducive or would help them grow better, and what are the hurdles they need to look out for?
Look, you see, with education, and again, I'll quote Tim Keys. I say, he really, he really inspired me. He told me there's formal education and there's informal education.
Yes.
Now, also because he also came from a school where he was studying music, but informally. So many was just getting lessons from people and then also books and type of thing. So I'd say it's very important to get the education. So whether you're getting it going formal into school or formalizing or informal, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that works. So he used to say I'm a musician as a strategy, meaning I've been collecting for me. So what's important for me, what's key, it's always collecting information. Because there are people, I see for me, there's three types of people. There's gifted people, and there's talented people, and there's hardworking, talented people. So there is people that are gifted that don't struggle with stuff. It just happens for them. And then there are the hardworking ones that will get something and then work hard on it, and then it works out with the talent and everything. So you can't then match. I can't match up with a gifted person because that person is a natural flavor. Exactly. So it's important then to acquire still the knowledge, whether you do it formally or informally, but then just have a structure of, hey, I'm learning this, I need to learn this, because now things have gotten better. When we were growing up, we had to learn a song, you had to take the tape, rewind back and forth trying to learn the chords. I mean, it was tough. So nowadays, I know people just go online and they search where is this exactly. There's a lot of lessons now. But back then, we used to rely a lot on our ears and try and figure stuff out. But it sort of turns out. So for me, I'd just say, get the information either way. Get the information.
I like that because it's more or less. It doesn't need to necessarily have a single-mindedness or structure.
You can
as long as you get
exactly. Especially most of the arts things, are like that. And sometimes you find that most of the people that succeed even more, they never even studied for the stuff, actually, but they were given it, but they were able to acquire knowledge as they went through.
Actually, I recall go to a rapper for some reason. Eminem friend does that he studied the dictionary, just read the words, which actually then explains how he can which means there has to be some form of
it's exact from literacy there. True. I agree with
because skill can only take you so far.
Definitely,
And then currently now we need to know what's in your playlist, top 5 jams locally, and then we'll go international.
Look, man, there's Mosaic, there's Judah, there's Flowy, and there's Sen that are pumping right now. What else do you want to know?
International as well.
International. There's Dr. Dumi. The new album is really blazing. So at the moment, I just got that one also from the international space. That's the album I'm actually listening to now because it's fresh. It just came out. So I'm really impressed with the work, the mixing, and everything. That's what I'm playing right now.
And then we'll get into the other aspect of Dr. Dumi and I play right now before we get into that. So, there's a question.
Yes, we have Bona Sangalagata on Instagram. How can you help groom our upcoming artists?
How can I help groom our upcoming artists? Sure, one day at a time. You see, I think stuff come back. That's what I'm trying to do. It's just that it's a lot of work. When I say a lot, I mean because you see, for an artist to be a full artist, there's there's the brand part that needs to be in place. So we need to, you need to define who this artist is.
Exactly.
And I always explain to people that the music for me, it's the easiest part.
Oh, yeah.
And the last, because when it's an artist, we actually are selling a brand. We don't sell the music, we sell the brand. We build a brand and then we'll sell. But we're not selling the music, because you can be talented, but if you're not packaged properly, So for me, it's work. I'm trying to do that now, because like now I've got, I think, about four artists that I'm trying to work with. But I will always be looking for the spaces where I can help, and I always share information where I can, but I'm in the space of helping, develop our industry.
True.
And our young artists, and I'm always available to help where I can.
Right. We've got one here from King Shaga. He's like, what would it take to set up the music industry in Eswatini?
It's a tough question, Shaga. It's a tough question. In my opinion, I think it will take a lot of us to sacrifice and focus on building it, because I can try to, but I can't do it on my own. And like Yenandi Shaga, it's interesting. He asked this question. People like him are part of our industry. Why? Because for my artist to have a sleeve, I need to have a shaga to take pictures. For my artist to have a profile, I need to have a shaga. So for me, it's the working together that we need to have between the creative industries, because we use all of them. So there's the musicians, there's the producers, we have photographers, videographers, we've got what do you call the people that artwork, the people that do the artwork, graphic designers, motion, So I feel like we need to have more of the structures where we formalize our businesses in terms of the music industry. And then once we formalize them, we're able to make sense even for the next person. So if I have a formalized business, then I will know that as an artist, before I even start releasing material, I have a profile that's professional. Then even if I'm doing my music, then I know what's my brand, what's my look and feel. And even with the music, who am I targeting? What's my target market? So I feel like if we can have 10 people that can think like that, we can achieve something in that country.
Most definitely. And we already see Shaga as well with the studio and the sound there.
Yes.
Okay, we have I am Mbuli. Uti, how can you guys help assist shine and how can you guys help artists shine and have their shine sustained? We have talent, but most of them are short-lived.
Yeah, I think we need to work more on our brands in terms of the art, because if I do a song now, I'll make an example. There's nothing wrong with doing current stuff. But if Ndumiso today wakes up and is like, my piano is vibing, let me do my piano song. I will do my piano song. It will, and then when my piano fades away, I am fading too, because I'm a piano guy, or I'm a gom, So not to say that you can't do those genres, but I feel like if we can be able to get to the core of that artist and say, who are you and what are you about? And then let's do you, because that is my belief. And I think my production angle as well and talent management is, I always want to look at the person, who are you? I will not impose myself into the artist, but I will look at who they are and try and dig out with the art and skill from what they have. And then I feel like if we then present, this is Ndumiso and this is what he's about, and this is his line of music. Yes, I feel like then you will be more sustained, because we will know what to expect. Because I feel you should be in the space where if I go to a shop and I look at a sleeve and I'm like, this is Ndumiso, I'll be able to pick it up and I'll listen to it when I get home. Why? Because I know what I'm going to find and I can trust what I'm going to find in there. So I feel like for them, our artists to be sustainable and be sustained is like, let's have some consistency. We can change with the times and all that, but let's have consistency so that I just know this is your authentic sound. I don't know if you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Bona Sangalalata. Uti, thanks. Nice to know that you already have 4 artists under your wing. Hope their bomb release is loading.
Yeah.
Okay. I just like that the whole with consistency gives rise longevity as well, because
Definitely.
it's usually those artists who actually have like a long half-life.
You
know what to expect.
Well, you know what to expect.
Irrespective of what
Exactly. You know,
they're gonna drop flames.
I don't know what album AK is on now. Is it 4, 3, 4, 5?
But
the guy is consistent.
And you have those fans without them, like, yo,
they know exactly. Yeah, they'll always throw you. Yeah. So that's my take.
We're going to jump into the spotlight now.
Oh, okay.
How has been the journey thus far? What's your take on the young up and coming prospects out there?
Look, the journey has been interesting. I won't lie. It's been interesting, and I think the last 2, 3, I was amazed. You know, I'm blown away. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with our talent. We've got talent in our country. And what really shook me the most was that now the talent is actually coming in from the 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21, the younger people. And to see them actually singing, some interesting music, and their sound, their tone, and what they're listening to, I feel like we're onto something, man. I really feel like we're onto something. Yeah.
We're going to ask, for those who haven't seen that episode, you too, best believe, our favorite, not our favorite artist, sorry, that's a bias. An interesting artist. What is your take on Nia Naira? we had to drop that. Sorry.
We had to drop that. Okay. That guy is very confident.
Yes.
And he believes in what he's doing, right? Yeah. So you see, it's just like, unfortunately, at some point, there needs to be that cut-off line of confidence. When you believe in yourself so much. So for me, it's like he really believes in himself. He's got that figured out, but he still needs to work his vibe. Of course. Yeah, musically. Yeah, it's weaker than this confidence. His confidence is here.
I haven't seen it. Episode 1, Kyra, from the flames.
Okay.
I guess, okay, within the different, I guess, realms and the influences that you've had, I guess, and taking as well. At what point, I guess, do you then know without any beyond reasonable doubt, I guess, this is what I want to do as a human being? Because there's always, like, I guess, hurdles and the likes.
Mm-hmm.
What does one need to do, or what mindset does one need to do to actually keep soldiering on? I guess, because one has always believed that the portrayals of stories, I guess, or success stories, there's never really a highlight on the, I guess, the downsides, the hardships, and the like.
Okay.
How does one get over that? Because there's obviously a day you wake up and like, maybe this whole music thing really isn't me. Like, and looking at the local, I guess, and the growth that has been, from inception, and people still believe, to now, where you can actually get an accolade and appreciation of your art form.
Yeah.
What bit of advice would you give? Like, what mindset does one need to have?
Sure. It's a tough one. First things first, for me, you need to have a vision of your craft. So to say now, if this is Ndumiso, you are here now, but what is your outlook? Where do you want to get to? Where are you going? Yeah. You need to have that bigger picture, because that is what's going to drive you. Because now, when there's the vision, then you know that you're driving towards something, and then whatever you have here, you know that I need to pass through that. Because I personally, I never saw myself as a keyboardist for life. I've always, because it started back then whenever I get into a studio, man, I just used to get those goosebumps. I'm like, I belong in this space. But way then, I used to. That's what I love. And I knew at some point I want to have my own record label. I want to have my own studio. I want to have my own artist. And I'll still play. And I want to play piano until I'm old. Type of a thing. But there needs to be the bigger picture, which is now the vision. Then it will drive you towards that. Then that's the end goal. And then so that with these hurdles here, it's not the end as well. Because I will tell you now, it's a tough industry. Because one, the times, the what do I call this? The working hours, maybe let me put it like that. Because, man, I'll tell you now, I remember when I was still in Johannesburg, at some point where I think there was a point where we were working back to back, like almost
no sleep,
no sleep, no whatsoever. And I think it was a period when I think I was with Donald, and he was recording his album. So what used to happen is, in the day or whatever, we're busy with stuff or we're going somewhere. At night, we're trying to record, and then we wake up and we're traveling. And I think there was 2 weeks where when I got home, my wife was leaving, and when she was coming back and I was leaving, it was just that life. And
there's that toil on, like,
and it goes on for 2 weeks, and you're like, this weekend, oh yeah, remember that weekend we're going where we're, yeah. And now you just got a booking, and you're like, yeah. I'm telling you, it's at some point you're like, damn, this thing is like,
it's really,
I tell you,
it's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. And then again, because of how the industry works, it's like you need to accumulate more hours. It's like, for me, I always liken it to pilots, because they're like, if you're still driving that small plane, you need another 500 hours for you to qualify for a commercial license. So even here, I feel like you need mileage for you to get into the next level and to the next step.
The rule of 10,000 hours. You need to put in the time.
So now it's like, unfortunately, I have to do this, and also because it's very finicky. It's a lot of you guys, like, it's a lot of musicians, and you're all fighting for the small pie somewhere there. There's only so many artists that are making it big.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly unavailable, it's like, we need to get someone that will be available, all the time. Yeah. So that for me, I found can be a very big challenge, because you don't have the time. Your weekends are basically working weekends, and that's the most time for families. That's when you need to be having time with family, and so it needs people that will understand you. Your partner needs to be very understanding, and you need to sell them the whole picture as well. Don't say no. Speak the truth. It's going to be like this, and this is how this thing works. And at times I want to So and at times you will book a holiday, and then a big gig comes, and you're like, we gotta take this one. You know what I'm saying? And so there are those moments, because it's happened to me before. I think we're supposed to go somewhere, and then boom! I think it was Trey Songz. Trey Songz comes to South Africa. Tickets needs to open. We're like, we can't lose this one, and So now you sacrifice. So, but the whole trick is that also you need to then make up at home.
Of course, yeah. You're taking. I'm interested in
exactly. Yeah. So I'm just saying that normally is like one of the biggest challenges, because most of the time your life is unpredictable, honestly, because sometimes you get a booking today for a function tomorrow, or sometimes we need to travel and you need to go far, blah, blah, blah. So it can take a toll. But then you need to know again, it's only a moment, and then after a while I get into the next level, and I get to the next level, and then, So if you have the bigger spectrum and the vision, I feel like then you can be able to drive yourself. It's doable. Then you will like, no, that's fine. I'll overcome this, because that's the end goal. Until you have that, then you have no rest. You have to push.
Right.
And sometimes there's no money. There's little money.
Okay, we have biggest 2B. I think even Billy can answer this one. Are the talent search auditions uploaded on YouTube? You will respond. And then we have Sizolwe Uti. How can we benefit from our music besides selling the albums? Because that's the struggle right there.
Selling albums. Yeah, look, album sales are going down. That's the truth. The reality, in fact. The City Warehouse, all of those things were closed down. We left with Musica now, and they are also struggling. They're just hanging in there by the thread. So physical copies are no longer moving, and it's now the digital thing. And also with the digital, with the iTunes and the Google Plays and all of that, there was buying, but then again now with the streaming services, that's also dying. I think Apple did announce that they are looking at shutting down iTunes for good and focus on Apple Music, because it's become easy now with the streaming services, and streaming services have little money. In fact, there's no money. For you to make a decent amount of money, you need to maybe have 10 million streams or 100 million streams for you to get money. But otherwise, so now the focus is performances. and other revenues. Other better revenues, actually, you're better off with a collar tune, selling your collar tunes, because it's a better, even compared to the streaming services, you get better revenue on that one. So that's where now we need to shift our focus. The physical sales, that's really, it's now on our performances. So we need to recreate our live scene, make more events where we are performing, and then also with the little digital that we have now, it's the mobile ones. Those are the ones that we need to take advantage of, and then I think that's what it is. Performances,
I'm checked on the YouTube, and yes, we do have those episodes up online, the first 3 actually, and dropping the 4th one as well. So you can stream. That's it. Now that we've actually touched on that whole digital aspect as well, what's your take on the whole song theme, for instance? It's monetize your craft, which then touches into these different ways, like you elaborated on. Do you feel like the current shift and change is actually it's conducive for artists, or is there a way that artists need to approach it to actually, I guess, get the most out of it? I like there was an aspect that you also touched on the whole, you believe in building an artist as a whole, the entire brand, so that at least you're selling an entire whole, not just the sound, which means it's not just from this piano and then the trend dies down. And, it's only.
I think like many other businesses, you see, we need to have, I think that we need to have that whole understanding that this is a business. So when business change, globally, it affects everyone. So even with the art, those are, the monetize your craft. Those are the conversations now that we need to have, because like the question was coming up was, we have lost now CD sales. Where to from here? Those are the conversations we need to. Then we need to then zoom in onto the other spaces where we can then position ourselves. Make music for the movies. Pitch stuff to this. There's many other spheres that we can. But the monetizing one, it's a conversation that we need to have, because things have shifted. Definitely. So we need to also constantly just look at what the trends are in the world. Where is the world going? Where is the world moving into? And then tap into that, so that we don't get left out.
There's a movement one has been following as well. That whole K-pop, how that market was. The government actually came into recreating boy bands. They're actually literally hitting 200 million streams on YouTube. I guess it's an entire, and they take it across the board, like how artists themselves, the image. So I guess actually it's a matter of.
So I think if we can, also focus more on creating the live entertainment, because people go out more now. People want more options now, in terms of entertainment. So that's the craft that we need to polish up now. In my opinion.
As we, hitting those last few minutes. More so media.
Yes.
Kindly hit us, with a quick brief. Who is currently under the umbrella, and what you got cooking?
Okay. Yeah, well, Muscle Media, it's basically an entertainment company. It's a record label, artist management. We do entertainment management services. Sourcing artists, and booking artists, and and placing them. So at the moment we've got 4 acts. So we have Judah. Judah is one of them. He released a single a month ago. And it's doing fine. And we also have Flowy, who will be dropping soon, probably in the next week or 2. We'll be dropping a single.
You heard it here first.
Actually. And we also have a gospel act, Shekinah, also on the works. We'll be releasing something before the end of the year. And we have another one who's more on. We have Ndumiso Dlamini. So basically, how it is as well is because we also I'm an NR myself, so so I look at that. So when I first not met her, when I first realized her talent and what she's about, because she was a kid and she was more into the jazz vibe.
Yes.
So that's when we're like, damn, that we want, because it's better when you start at that age and pursue your vibe and then just work on it. Yeah, so that one is under development. So we'll probably also work on something for her in terms of music. Yeah, so those are the acts that we have now when we're working on their albums, and we'll be hitting with digital first.
Was it, should I have, if, for instance, I'm saying I have a demo somewhere, I make that
no, look, we're always open for talent. Yeah, because the thing is even I always say this, there's people that are gifted in writing. You see, when you write music, it doesn't mean you must sing it, and that's the part that people always miss. And I always make an example. There's a woman, what's her name? Oof, I've forgotten her name. She used to write. She still writes. I mustn't say she used to write, but she writes music. She used to write a lot with Babyface and L.A. Reid, Walter Fanisef. She all she does is write music or write lyrics, and she's a millionaire. She sits at home. She just goes there. She's been writing all your hits, R&B hits. She's been there. She's part of it, because sometimes as a producer, there are moments where you get maybe melodies and music and you put it together, but you don't even have words for it. And you're like, I've got this thing, it's magical, but I don't even have the capacity to write to it. Sometimes you hear a beat or a music and you're like, oh, I've made this thing, but I don't have the capacity to put the right wording for it. And then you look for someone that can write. So I always say there's people are gifted in writing, because at Muscle Media we also have publishing. So we do publishing. So we always have need for songs at any given moment for other artists outside, and all of that. Yeah. So we will take demos and see if it's something we're interested in.
We have let's say the last one from I am. Do you guys help young talent focus on their studies so they have something to fall back on? We are witnesses. We have seen young people giving up their education for us. If they fail, it's disaster.
No, I don't encourage people to quit school for music. In the sense that literacy is literacy, because again, you can still go out and study music. So school you need to finish, because here you don't have a lot of guarantees. Music is a very risky business. It's a high risk business, because today, and I remember I think 2 times I was in a car accident, and I tell you, every time, I think the second time it was bad. I think we rolled about 4 times and we were rushing into a gig. And guess what happens is I used to fall this side all the time, and then I had my arm at some point. Yeah, my you can see my wrist is still.
And that's like
that's my money. That was my money making machine. So now with that gone, what else are you going to do with your life? So I would say finish the school, finish the process of school, and then you can pursue. But I can't let you leave school.
Ill advised.
Yeah, no.
Right, that's cool. And publishing, actually, like that, you're expecting a memoir, like from just this session, people in that space, there has to be, like a young book you drop, right, in the near future. You want a commitment kind of situation.
Look, actually, I can, because for me, it's all about sharing information. And, one of the reasons, that was actually pushy for me to come back to Swaziland was the fact that, when you've been in SA and then you've been exposed to the many things and you feel like, you know what, I actually have acquired enough now to start sharing, type of a thing with the experience. So, that's why here I'm passionate about developing the industry in our country, developing the artists. And because we've got the talent, all that we just need to focus on now is formalizing our business, and just making it proper, doing the right things the right way, the professional way, so that even the people in the offices can take us serious, because we can't be casual about the music. It's a business, so we need to treat it as a business. So when we still treat it like a hobby, then it's a challenge, So that's my take with this whole thing.
Most definitely. Okay, 3 questions before we wind it down. I want your best performance. I probably can't really say best performance, but the top 3 performances that stand out. Like, I had a blast in those ones. And then that one performance, you tend to want to forget. It can be only one. You're not going to go through that. So top 3 and 1.
Yeah, top performance. It has to be one moment with it was Liquid.
Oh
yeah. Oh man, it was an amazing performance. We were doing the K Day. It was in Cape Town and Paarl. It was a packed stadium, and the performance was just amazing. Yeah, it was like, that was amazing. And the worst,
sorry to do it. We need to walk down.
We need to walk down that path. Asia, there will always be those ones. You know what? Actually, it's yeah. But I laugh about it. I don't know. I mean, if I'd say it was the worst because it didn't even happen. There was a time we went to Uppington. I think we booked there with Donald. And then when we get to the venue, on the speakers, I think this guy was using, I don't know if it was hi-fi speakers or what, but it was just one of those funny speakers.
Home theaters.
So when we got there, the people were there packed. They wanted that performance. And then secondly, the stage was this low. It was very low. It was last half a meter or something. And then it was just in an open field. So when we jumped on stage, when we just connected the keyboards, everything just went. So the mic wasn't even working with time. So then people started getting upset. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh man, that was the worst. And then we just started seeing bottles.
And
went to
because you can even see the expression.
I think to date, that was like one of the worst ever. It just never happened. Really. Yeah, that was the worst one.
Right. And then what's your take on we'll focus on the music industry per se, or we can even go for an art. The journey or where we are currently, what's the highlights, I guess, or I guess positives, you'd say, and what piece of advice would you say, or what's needed to do, like the work that needs to be put in?
I mean, in our industry.
Yes, it could be music or across the board.
Look, with the arts, we've turned the corner. I won't lie to you. We've really turned the corner when it comes to the art. People are taking it more serious, and also I think with technology, we're seeing more people, now making an effort to have beautiful pictures, to have, to get branded properly. You see, I think the one thing that we still need to work on for me, it's time.
Wow.
If a poster says 6 o'clock and then we start at 8, it still gets to me. Because you see, in our lifetime, we plan our lives. So if I say, okay, your event starts at 6 and I need to be there at 9. Okay, no, I'll start with you. I'll cover 2 hours at least, and then I'll next them. So now if 8 o'clock you haven't started, or 7:30, it has affected everyone. So this is my prayer now, is that can we either we change the times on our posters and put the realistic time, because sometimes if you say 6 o'clock, maybe it's too early for people. Let's put the time that we're going to start, and then let's be there and let's start on time. Whether there's 5 people or there's 10 people, let's start.
But it's the one you committed.
Okay, exactly. So let's. For me, that's one of the key things now in our country that we need to improve on, and that's the time. But otherwise, holistically, we've got more talent in our country. And the thing that we still need more talent managers. I won't lie to you. I feel like we've got a lot more artists that we can handle. So we need more people that can be just a bit versed with managing talent, so that it's we're able to help a bit more. So I think I feel I'm blessed because at the moment I'm able to manage a couple of them because I mean I still do everything. I can still produce, I can still play, and I can still manage. So I am able to juggle both, and I have the understanding of the industry as well. So the next step, okay, I guess, is to have some kind of workshop for people that would be interested in managing talent. Much because it's not about just taking bookings and it goes just a bit deeper than that. Yeah, so I think that's.
And then actually go towards the suggestion that you mentioned earlier on. You need to approach it in a more structured or
correct. Yes, correct. Yeah. In our artists, yeah. So for any artist that's out there, I'd say please go out and look for representation because also you don't want an artist to be dealing direct with clients because when we argue, you fight, it gets personal. You know what I'm saying? So I always say yes, there must always be that guy that will come in and knock at the doors and like, hey, can we have this? But we can't have the person that that's about to be doing that. Yeah. So it's important to have representation.
Most definitely. Now leading to the last one, I guess. Which parting words would you leave the youth? I guess anyone who's got a passion for a particular craft or art form, and
Look, one of the key things is this: drugs, alcohol, weed doesn't make an artist.
Wow. We can even rewind that one.
Drugs, alcohol, weed doesn't make up an artist. You see, I've been fortunate to work with all of the people I work with, and I've seen everything. I've been in the crew of everything and everyone. I've never touched alcohol. I've never touched drugs. So so that's why at some point I never understand peer pressure. What is it called? Because what it is. Because I feel like I have been with people like at some point I can say over 2 years spending at least 4 days with those people a week that are into these things. But it's never shared on me. I have never had the interest of it. So, and also you can't be an artist and do none of those things. One of the people was, KO doesn't drink, it doesn't smoke. And people didn't know that because they thought, no, when an artist, you should be.
There's a persona.
Donald's the second one. No drinking, no smoke. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. And so all I'm saying is it can be done without it. You don't need to be high to record. You don't need to be, you know what I'm saying? No, it's not. You can do it sober, So that's, for me, it's that if our young people can really, really, really focus on abstaining on these things, because I have seen the danger of it, and as I'm sitting here, there's a friend of ours that we lost into drugs. I'll say we lost because he was a brilliant pianist and a musician and a genius. I mean, he recorded a lot of albums, with Lielo, and was producing a lot. But at some point, they stayed with a block and I don't know what they did. There's a couple of them. And then to date, his head is spinning.
Oh,
yes.
Like
he never recovered, yeah. So he's still in a mental facility. I think it's almost 10 years now. And for me, that thing became a reality that, this thing can start as fun, but, later on, it works against you. Yes, that's really, yeah. So for me, young people, believe in your craft, the way, and this whole thing of, let me get on, before you get on stage, just go papa, so that you get the confidence. No, there's none such. You need to
And then again, it actually goes back to what you mentioned. If you have the bigger picture, I guess these then become like distractions.
Yes, correct.
I don't even have the time to think
exactly
because there's a clear vision.
That's my take. Yeah,
that's actually amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope people's been inspired, and go see you on the next episode. Doing your thing.
All right, thank you.